Hello everyone, Flik here, welcome back to another contrast paint video. Apologies in advance for any noise you might hear in the background depending on how good the mic on this camera is. There's some roadworks going on nearby and I'm recording this today despite them going on. Anyway, from the Teen Titans Batbox for the Batman miniature game, we have the dark and the light, I guess you could say, as today we are tackling Raven and Dove, who you might know most recently from the Titans TV show. And the reason I'm doing two today is because I wanted to paint Raven, because, well, both these need to be done for a battle report, but specifically, Raven is a good excuse to use more Shyless Purple, which is a colour I don't get to use very much when doing 40k stuff, because I don't collect anything Slanesh related, basically. So, she is 90% purple, gonna be pretty basic, but it's a good excuse to see more of the Shyless Purple contrast in effect. Dove is going to be interesting because she is a mix of a very light blue and white. So we're going to try a little bit of the white contrast. I've used it. I don't think it's very good. It doesn't shade very well, but we'll give it a good sample today. It's Apothecary White, I think it's called. And also we're going to be trying a new shade of blue because Ultramarine Blue is a little bit too dark. We're going to try, I think we're going to try Aethermatic Blue. As seen there, I think that's a bit closer to the shade of blue she has, at least in the back of the box art. So during the first time skip, we'll do the purple parts of Raven, which is basically everything except her skin and her belt. And then we'll probably handle, you know what, we'll handle the white first and then probably some grey on the stone that Dove is standing on, although that will eventually get done over in some earth shade as well, just to make it look a bit more grimy and Gotham-y. But yeah, so white, might do the whole thing in white, and then just go over certain bits in the blue. I'll decide come the time. But without further ado, let's get started on these two Teen Titans. So with some beeping in the background, here's what we have, and Dove is not quite in focus. It's annoying because they're just different enough heights that it's throwing off the autofocus. Anyway, if you're looking at Dove and thinking, is the white actually applied? Yep, that's my experience with the white contrast as well. It doesn't add enough definition at all. It's very hard to tell that there's any white on that at all. On the cape you can kind of tell. It's added a little bit of shade in the recesses. But beyond that, if you wanted a more prominent shading, you'd probably just want to go over it with normal white paint and then a Nuln Oil or something, or something else to highlight. Purple, I like the Shyless Purple. It's not fully dried yet, so it's not set. It should turn a little bit paler also. Again, apologies for the workman noises in the background, if you can hear them. I'm sure you can hear that though, because it's annoyingly loud. I've also just quickly touched up the skin sections with some more grey cere, and probably prior to the next time lapse, where we'll be doing the Aethermatic Blue on Dove. We're not going to do the skin on Dove until the blue's dry as well, because she's got a face mask that I don't want to risk running. But for Raven, what we're probably going to do is I'm going to go over her skin tone areas with Ungor Flesh first. And the reason I'm going to do that is we're then going to go over it with contrast paint, Dark Oath Flesh, which I have tried off camera. I painted up Starfire from the Teen Titans box. I put a picture on Twitter if you're curious. And I just used this at first. And this and Guilliman Flesh I don't feel applies well, especially to feminine models. It looks okay when it's like male models. I don't know, it doesn't suit feminine skin to me. So what I did instead was I used the layering of the normal paint first, and then used the Dark Oath Flesh. Is it Dark Oath Flesh? Kind of like a wash, and then it kind of came out better. Probably about the same as if you just went over with a wash like Earthshade, but that's what we're going to try here. But to keep it kind of fairer for the fairer sex, we are going to use the Ungor Flesh first, and I'll probably do that before starting up the next time lapse. But Dove will have to wait because we're going to do the blue sections first in the one part. Let's get on with that. So another check-in. Now you might have noticed during the time-lapse when I was applying the Aethermatic Blue, I actually accidentally went over Dove's boots, so I've just gone over them again. I also kind of did a dry brushing of Ceramic White over the Apothecary Contrast White. I'm not sold on it, and as for the Aethermatic Blue, it's still got a lot of drying to do. Initial impressions though are that it's not creating enough of... Let's get Raven out of here so this actually focuses ideally. There we are, kinda. It's not creating enough depth for me. What is it with this model and it just being so hard to make it stay in focus? It must be because of the bulky bit of concrete it's on. Like if I try and get the face in focus, it's just like, nope. It's very strange. The back's again just got a Ceramic White dry brush. Not sure about whether or not to go over it with Earthshade. Might just do it on the hair to add a bit more definition to her hair. We'll see. There will be one more time gap though while I also finish her base, go over the concrete with Earthshade. As for Raven, there's how her skin's looking. It's still got some drying to do. Going to use some gold on her belt. She's got a little red crystal in front of her hood thing as well to be done. Just going to use Blood Angel's Red or something for that. And then Storm Vermin Fur for her base, and then we will be back with two finished models that, as it turns out, can't really be seen together because Dove is just a constant blur. So here we are with the finished two models. I tried putting Raven on the left to see if that made any difference to the autofocus not liking Dove's model for some reason. In terms of the Dark Oath, whatever it's called, Dark Oath Flesh, I went over it again with a even thicker layer of just the standard Ungor Flesh because it didn't look that great, honestly. To me it looks even worse than Guilliman Flesh, and again I don't think it fits fairer skin. So went over it a little bit, still kept it in the recesses to add a little bit of shadow, but that's about it. Added the red dot and gold on the belt for Raven, and that's about it. So let's move her to one side for now, try and get Dove to focus. Dove looked too clean with just the Aethermatic Blue and the Apothecary White, even with the white highlights. So I went over, that was my phone in the background, I went over the whole thing with Earthshade just to try and add shadow. I don't think it turned out great. I don't think the Apothecary White is very good. The Aethermatic Blue, it doesn't have much to sink into on her model because it is so small thin. There are at least one other model I want to test with the Aethermatic Blue that'll probably do quite soon. So we'll see if it kind of still has the same finish, which again isn't super fantastic, but it's a weird mix of colours. Basically she's 90% white paint and then a little bit of blue as well, and then obviously the base, but that's just stone, so there's not much there to worry about. But that is Raven and Dove from the Teen Titans Batbox for the Batman miniature game. Next contrast video will probably be 40k themed. You will know for sure because I've started putting in the comments what the next video is, so you'll already know if you've read down below. But thank you for watching. Go check out the other contrast videos and battle reports if you want. That's going to do it for now though, so I will see you next time. Ta for now.